What up, nerds? Sorry, that's not my thing. This is the Nerdy Narrative Tag. A good friend of mine, Leslie, is an amazing booktuber, and she was gifted a birthday tag. And being as it's a birthday tag, I wanted to try to get it as close to her birthday as I could. Now we're into April, so I'm a bit late, but wanted to go ahead and do these questions. They were actually kind of fun. She in her intro goes over like all the books she likes to read and enjoys, and so all of these questions are those genres that she kind of goes through. So I will hurry up and start. Saw this video originally on the Codex Cantinas channel. Leslie went ahead and did it, and today I saw it on Brad's channel, and just he made me giggle with his intro. So I'll link all three of those videos. And then I'll put the people that I tagged down at the very end of the video, but I'll link them as well. All right, question 1 is science fiction. What is a futuristic or imaginary element in a book that you are glad is not real? For me, it is INSOC, the government of 1984. When or if you ever read 1984, you'll understand what I mean. They are a oppressive government. I can't remember exactly what INSOC stands for. I will link a video done by the Alternate History Hub. He does a great breakdown on the world of 1984, and I might steal a picture from him to kind of show you the INSOC logo. But really, Orwell does a great job showing us what we don't want our government to become. And in the future, I hope we never get there. So that's my answer. Question 2 is horror. What has been the scariest moment for you reading a book? Luckily, I'm not as scared reading as I am watching something. Jump scares get me. Like I'm the person that the jump scares get you every time. And so with reading a book, it takes a little time to get you to the jump scare. It doesn't really like kind of get you, like that. But when I was reading It by Stephen King, they are at one point in the basement of this abandoned house and they can't get out. And that was probably the scariest moment for me. Like I was on the most like edge of my seat, like kind of freaking out of that whole book. There was another moment that probably Stanley's probably moment that had him go, no, I can't do this anymore, when he comes out of a water tower. But the moment where they're in the basement is probably the scariest moment I've had reading a book. Question 3, fantasy. What is something that you would import from from the fantasy world into our world? For me, it'd be the creatures. Fantasy creatures are so stinking cool. Like griffins, amazing. Unicorns, dragons. Yeah, they're not all going to be easy to live with, but man, they'd be cool to see every day. Imps and trolls and fairies and pixies and mermaids, all that kind of stuff. Centaurs. I would love to have those in our world. I think it'd be super, super cool. Kind of a nerd that way. Number 4 is comic or manga. What is a comic you have enjoyed or one that you have wanted to check out? So I'll do both. I grew up as a Wolverine fan. I read every Wolverine comic I could get my hands on. Loved Wolverine. Spider-Man was a close second, but Wolverine was me. I loved him. And then one that I want to check out, I wrote a couple down here. East of West sounds pretty cool. Saga sounds pretty cool. And I have always wanted to get into the Green Lantern. I've never read more than one comic, I think. I might have read 2 Green Lantern comics, but I never got into Green Lantern. And I think he's cool, but I just have never really read him. So I would like to see some Green Lantern and check out how cool his ring is. Question 5, literary fiction and classics. What is a classic book that you've been meaning to get into, but you just haven't yet? The Count of Monte Cristo. I have had it on hold at my library at least 4 times. And it's like 44 hours on audiobook. I want to read it, but I'm like, oh, well, I've got all these other books, and that's 44 hours. Let me just move it. I'll do it next month. Oh, I'll do it next month. I've had it probably 6 months now that I've been trying to read it, not successfully. I've heard it's amazing. I'm really excited to read it, but I have been putting it off for some reason. Question 6, The Busy Bee. What is a book that you'd like to share with your friends? Recently reread it, and I tell you what, I forgot how much I loved The Magic of Recluse. The world and the magic and the just, man, what a fun book. What a good book. Great fantasy story. Hard work, doing the right thing, using your head. Man, I just want other people to read it. I hear nobody on BookTube talk about it. The Magic of Recluse. You should read it. I promise. I'm going to do a review. I'm going to shout it from the treetops. It's a darn good book. Question 7 is influencer. If you could have influenced an author to make a different decision in a book, what would it have been? I talked about this in my Harry Potter rant. I want J.K. Rowling to have different points of view, not just Harry Potter, and friends from the other houses. Like good friends, like go on adventures with friends from other houses and maybe share, have like a foursome or a fivesome or a sixsome, I don't know. But like one from each house. Like you're telling me there's no good Slytherins out there? And then follow their point of view every now and then. Can you imagine being a good Slytherin, having to be in the same house as Draco? And like you want to cheer for your team, and like, what about the Quidditch trash talk the friends could have had? That's stuff that I wish that she would have done a little bit different. Different points of view and friends from other houses in the friend group. Number 8, the birthday wish. What book do you want for your birthday? Now, I don't necessarily need it for my birthday, but a book that I have been looking for all over the place. I have been scouring used bookstores and trying to find a good price on the illustrated version of The Wolves of the Kala. I have every other Dark Tower book illustrated except for The Wolves of the Kala. I have a mass market paperback on that one. I'm going to read it very soon, but man, I really want that illustrated version of The Wolves of the Kala, and I just haven't found it yet. So that's the one that I would love to find and maybe receive for my birthday. Question 9 is the invite. Who are you inviting to your BookTube party? Tag some friends to share cake with. So I'm guessing this is the proverbial, tag other people. So I would like to tag Reading in Retail. She has a really cool channel. She does an eclectic group of things. Sometimes she'll, show you building bookshelves or hanging out doing, she does this really cool thing where she just picks somebody's channel to watch a bunch of their content and give them a bunch of time. It's really, really kind. And then my buddy Workman Reads, he's a Bills fan. Bills fans got to stick together, and yeah. So I am really, really excited. I've had a good day. Filmed 2 videos in the car, and so you guys will see these over the next coming weeks. I'll pace them out like a Wednesday and a Sunday, and subscribe to the channel. Come check it out. The Epic Summary Podcast is officially off its feet. Every podcast platform has been applied to. Most have accepted it. I've got the podcast trailer out, and I've got the first episode out, The Color of Magic. Next episode will be the Eye of the World summary, and it will be a blast. You guys can get some staff value out of it. If you want to submit a request for a summary to be on the podcast next, email rajathon11@gmail.com, and that is my YouTube email, and I will try to make it a priority. So talk to you guys soon. Bye.